So you heard Sam George, Member of Parliament for Nigo Pram, and indeed is one of the key proponents of the bill. He joins us on the line for further conversation on this matter. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. So Parliament has begun debate on the matter. Can you tell us where this puts us in the process of legislation as far as the law enactment route is concerned? Where do we go from here?
Good evening, Salom. We have completed the debate of the committee's report. And so second reading is literally done. Now what we have to do is the consideration stage, which is where we will take the amendments that have been proposed by the committee to the bill. The good thing is most of these amendments are amendments that were discussed extensively with us as sponsors, and so there's agreement between the sponsors and the committee on about, I'll say, 95% of the amendments that have been proposed. So we have a few amendments that will just be brought on the House. About 5% of them will have a debate on them because the committee takes a view, as sponsors we take a different view. But largely, once we are done with those clause-by-clause considerations, you have the third reading and then the bill is passed.
I see. So what will you say are some of the major amendments that this bill is likely to see based on your engagement with stakeholders?
Well, there are no major amendments. Most of them are consequential. For example, in the short title, removing Ghanaian and proper in the short title of the bill. So it reads the promotion of family values, of sexual rights and family values bill, because there's the argument that every law passed in Ghana is Ghanaian anyway, so there's no need for Ghanaian to be in the law. So those are some of the things. And then I think one of the biggest ticket items you may talk about will be the fact that we have taken out the issue of intersex. Because if you look at that, it is not an
it's not an acquired trait. It's
because
it's natural,
in the original bill,
biological.
In the original bill, it is actually exempted and not criminalized. If you take the original bill, when we list all the things that are criminal and all the expressions, we state intersex and state an exemption for it. So the decision is, instead of stating it in the bill and creating an exemption, take it out completely. So that's what we've done. So that's why I said it's not substantial to the body of the bill. On the issue of financial cost to the state, a conversation was had around that, and we decided that, okay, fine. Many of the churches and CSOs already provide medical support to people who need that support without it being legislated. So there's a portion that talks about providing medical care to persons who wanted help. We would rather provide them access to that help without necessarily stating it in the bill, so that doesn't become the basis for any challenge and saying that it could attract costs to the state.
Wow. So as it stands now, there is no provision for persons who may be caught in this web, who may need medical assessment. There's no medical assessment. There's no such provision in the bill. And you're saying that you're taking it off?
No, slow down.
Okay.
Slow down. There is a proposed amendment to take out medical support for persons engaged in the act who during prosecution claim that they want help, which is something that was in the bill originally. Victims, support for victims, children who are molested, or persons who are molested by individuals still enjoy their protection. So those protections still remain. What is being taken away is there used to be a clause that would, or which is being proposed to be, and don't forget, it's a proposal. It must make its way through the floor of the House, was for us to provide support such that it would even affect sentencing. And the argument became that anybody at all could just jump on that bandwagon when they see that they are facing prosecution and say, I need help. So to make sure that whole arrangement is tidier and cleaner, we've taken that out. But children, persons under the age of 18 who are victims will still get their protection.
And that will not, burden the state. That will not place on the state a financial burden, as
Absolutely not.
that will
The
not
way
place
the
on the
way
state any
the way
financial
the
burden.
way the way it has been structured will not attract any cost to the state. And most of that support already exists. That's the point we're making. And so when a person is a victim, there's support that is readily available. That doesn't even come from the state. Don't forget that we have a huge cadre of Christian health facilities that support persons already who need this help. Just this week, we have had to assist an individual who reached out to us. And the requests come every day. So you don't need a bill to continue doing something that you already do.
I see. So how about the talk about, you punishing persons who may advocate the cause of LGBT? And there, of course, there was this talk about it infringing on a person's freedom of speech, right to free speech, for example. Is that also going to see any amendment? Is there any proposed amendment to that as well?
In fact, that is the most punished offense in the bill. That's the most punished offense in the bill. Promotion, propaganda, support, and advocacy of LGBTQ attracts a stiffer punishment than even being caught in the act. And so there is absolutely no backing down on that. We intend to carry that out. It would apply to even media houses like you. You would have to, by all means, ensure that the content you put out is not promoting, advocating, or propaganda material of LGBTQ. So you need to be careful. You have a TV station, the TV movies you put out, the children's cartoons that you put out, the material that you put out. You must exercise editorial policy to ensure that it is clean and sanitized. And this is not going to be an infringement of free speech. As we speak today, I listen a lot to DJ Mingle and a few of the other DJs. When DJ Mingle is playing certain songs, because of the broadcasting laws in Ghana, he plays the radio edit. He doesn't play the raw version of the song because there are words, just words, mere words in the original version of the song that are not wholesome for radio. You exercise editorial discretion to take out and make sure that DJ Mingle only plays the radio edit. That is not an infringement of your freedom of expression and freedom of speech, is it?
You also recorded no dissent in the debates today in Parliament. But in your interactions with your colleagues on the floor and elsewhere, do you feel that this is a genuine reflection of the sentiments of MPs, or it is as a result of the fear of public backlash that you think some dissenting voices on the matter may face, and so these voices got subdued? Do you have that impression?
If you are not bold enough to take a stand for something that you believe in, then what you believe in is suspect. So if you say anybody was afraid to take a stand for what they believe in, then anything you are afraid to let your neighbor know you are engaged in is criminal and offensive to society. So it should not be something that should be said of any honorable member of the House. So I would take it that once there was no dissent, genuinely all honorable members of the House support the bill and are not engaged in activities that they wouldn't want their neighbors to find out about.
I listened to Esla Owusu Ekufu, the honorable member from Ablekuma West, I think, and she made a point about natural carnal knowledge in support of the bill, and she makes the case that anal sex, even among couples, I mean, man and female, is considered unnatural, and a whole lot. And she also made a case that the use of sex toys is also unnatural. Is there an assertion you agree with? I mean, in terms of the use of sex toys, do you share the same opinion that also constitutes unnatural carnal knowledge?
Well, my opinions on natural and unnatural carnal knowledge have found full expression in the bill. The Honorable Esla Owusu Ekufu is a member of the Constitutional Parliamentary Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee. She's at liberty to file amendments when we get to the consideration stage to reflect any views she may hold, or she can even bring her own private member's bill. But for me, I'm comfortable with what has been expressed in the bill.
Because I asked because there appears to be a booming industry which deals in sex toys. And so if the use of these objects, are frowned upon by the law, then what business do they have still having their shops open?
If you have read the law doesn't say what you are saying.
Because the law, in essence, will talk about or talks about unnatural carnal knowledge.
And the law goes on to specify acts that have been prescribed. So it is not an omnibus thing. It's not a morality law. The law has specific items that have been criminalized. There's specific acts that have been criminalized in the bill before Parliament. And so if anybody wants to add anything, if Salom, you want to add anything, speak to your MP to file an amendment at the consideration stage. But you cannot extrapolate or think into being what you think that is not in the law and say it is in the law.